Reflecting on my career and personal life, I realize how much has changed, and how much I've learned. My journey from a young girl hitting tennis balls for 8 hours a day with my dad and sister, to becoming a 4-time Grand Slam champion and world #1, has been extraordinary. But it hasn't been without its challenges. Looking back on my public sharing of my mental health struggles, I feel a little embarrassed about how I handled it. While I'm glad I opened up and sparked important conversations, I wish I'd been more thoughtful in how I expressed myself. My impulsive nature, a trait I've had since childhood, sometimes leads to decisions I later regret. It's a part of me, though, and it's also been a source of creativity on the court. I strive to balance that impulsiveness with strategic planning and focus, a skill honed over years of playing. Moving from Japan to America at age 3 was a significant transition for my family. My sister had a tougher time adjusting, as she only spoke Japanese. I remember a funny, yet frustrating, incident where our teacher asked my mom to stop speaking Japanese to us, hindering my bilingual development. I still speak Japanese with close friends, appreciating the intimacy and nuances it allows. My father's training regime, inspired by Richard Williams's approach with the Williams sisters, was intense. We spent countless hours on the court, and I began to believe that not succeeding would be unusual. I learned about this blueprint later, and my father's stoicism has always made it hard to delve deeper into his motivations and emotions during this time. Watching the movie King Richard resonated deeply, highlighting the shared family dream and the effort we all put in. My multicultural background, Japanese and Haitian, has significantly influenced my perspective. The Haitian emphasis on generosity, even in scarcity, is something I deeply admire and try to incorporate into my life. The Japanese emphasis on punctuality and discipline has also shaped my approach to life. I've recently been working on a new level of discipline by cutting out rice from my diet, a staple in both my cultural backgrounds. This is a challenge, but I'm committed to it. On the other hand, nighttime drives, sometimes involving spontaneous races, are a guilty pleasure that allows me to express my impulsive side. I've become more cautious with age, though, prioritizing safety and my daughter's future. The pressure of being a high-profile athlete has been immense. Early in my career, I felt dehumanized in press conferences, treated as a source of soundbites rather than a person. This led to a more guarded approach, and I've had to learn to navigate the complexities of public life. I used to compare myself to other players, constantly evaluating my performance against theirs. This has lessened over time, but the competitive spirit remains. I've learned to focus on my own journey and progress rather than constantly comparing myself to others. The transition to motherhood has been profound. It's changed my perspective, made me more patient and carefree, and shifted my focus from the wins and losses on the court to the joy of being a mother. My identity is no longer solely defined by my tennis career. The decision to withdraw from the French Open was incredibly difficult. I was dealing with intense shame and a feeling of going against everything an athlete is supposed to represent. I isolated myself, avoiding the outside world. The subsequent Olympics provided a turning point, as other athletes expressed their gratitude, making me realize I wasn't alone in my struggles. The pressure leading up to the French Open, coupled with constant media questions, reached a breaking point. I felt overwhelmed and decided to withdraw, a decision that became a significant media event. The experience taught me the importance of prioritizing mental health and the need to advocate for oneself. The constant comparisons to other players have been challenging. I've learned to accept that some people will understand my choices and others won't, and that I don't need to justify myself. The fear of being forgotten is something I've wrestled with, but my accomplishments, for Grand Slams, lighting the Olympic torch, have helped me to see the bigger picture. I've learned to embrace the present and focus on future growth, both personally and professionally. The desire to be a mentor to younger athletes is strong. I want to share my experiences and encourage them to prioritize generosity and kindness. My time with Kobe Bryant was incredibly impactful. His advice to focus on my goals and not be distracted by external opinions has stayed with me. I'm not actively searching for a new mentor, but I value meaningful conversations and learning from others. My current routine centers around my daughter, my boyfriend, and my team. My trainer, a fellow Virgo, is a constant presence, and our interactions are often humorous. My game day routine is consistent: meditation, breakfast, light hitting, and mental preparation. Sleep before big matches is often elusive, but I find that mentally rehearsing the match in my dreams helps. My advice to those struggling with mental health is simple. You're not alone, and it's okay to ask for help. Overcoming shame and guilt has been a process, but interacting with others and recognizing the importance of self-care has been crucial. The courage to take a break from tennis, despite the fear of being forgotten, was a pivotal moment. It allowed me to reconnect with myself and redefine my identity beyond the court. My focus now is on personal growth, enjoying my daughter, and continuing to learn and evolve.